course, Online Marketing Foundations. I spend a few minutes outlining most of the concepts we'll be encountering in this course. Now, another thing to note before we begin is that the AdWords interface changes from time to time. You might find that a tab name or a button that we're talking about has moved or changed. This is the nature of a constantly changing product. AdWords may introduce new features and shift elements on the screen around in an effort to make the product better and better. It's my goal to keep this course as up to date as possible. But if you don't see something exactly as it appears on my screen, it's probably not too far away. I suggest clicking into a nearby menu or tapping on an unfamiliar icon to see if you can find it. Please also consider leaving feedback on this course if you find a page or screen to be significantly different. You can also reach me on Twitter via @BradBatesel. If you get stuck or have a question or just want a pointer, feel free to send me a tweet. With that said, I know you're eager to roll your sleeves up and dive headfirst into creating your first advertisement. But we're going to spend the next several chapters talking about the framework of Google AdWords. I find that it's extremely important to know the ins and outs of what goes on behind the scenes, how the process works, and how to get organized before starting. AdWords is a paid platform, and you'll save considerable amounts of money by thoroughly understanding how it works. At the surface, it can look pretty straightforward, but make no mistake, AdWords is an extremely powerful platform used by everyone from small businesses to Fortune 500s. A stray click or an incorrect setting might spell disaster for your project. So please, resist the urge to skip through these sections. They're here to set you up for success. Billions of times per day, people turn to Google to look up an answer to a question, discover a new place to visit, find solutions to their problems, and look for products to buy. And every time someone visits Google, they're likely in one of four mindsets. I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, and I want to buy. Now, your business can solve one or more of these mindsets. A customer that wants to know something? Well, you have information to share and can get them the answer. If they want to go somewhere, you can take them or show them how they get there. If they want to do, well, you can show them how to. And if they want to buy, well, you can sell to them. You are the I can tell you, I can take you, I can show you, or I can sell you answer to these moments. And you can answer these moments effectively by using Google Ads. You see, Google Ads is an online advertising platform that allows you to show up in each of those moments. It's built to put you in front of a potential customer at the right time with the right message when they're in the right mindset. You'll create ads for your business and get them to appear in Google whenever your consumers are looking for exactly what you have to offer. It's incredibly effective. And the concept? Well, it's fairly simple. You identify words that are relevant to your products or services, and then Google Ads will show that ad on Google when someone searches for those or related words. Let's walk through a scenario together. Let's run a search for eyeglass repair at google.com. Once I hit search, Google is going to comb through billions of web pages, blogs, and other listings to find the ones most relevant to my search for eyeglass repair. Now you'll notice right here at the top, it says that there are about 3.9 million results for the search query. When you think about that many results, you'll come to the realization that a tiny fraction of eyeglass repair businesses are going to be among the first few page of results. And when we search Google, we rarely scroll to the bottom and start going through page 2, 3, 3, 4, and so on. So it's important that you show up on this first page. And that's where Google Ads come in. Google Ads gives your business visibility even if your website is not in the top organic result. It can help get your business to appear in front of many potential customers. And it's not just any customer, it's the right customer. In this example, I'm ready to get help fixing my glasses. So it's quite likely that I'm ready to make a purchase, which makes this ad worth buying. Now you'll see the ads here at the top. Along the right-hand side, and even at the bottom. You'll notice that they are indicated either by the icon that says Ad or by the word sponsored. Now, the ads on the right-hand side are actually sponsored shopping ads. And these only appear when relevant products are available. Otherwise, you'll see the text ads here on the left-hand side at the top. Now, ads have all kinds of extensions. They offer the URL, some will show phone numbers, some might show ratings and addresses, and even additional sections like this one, which shows how I can build glasses and see customer testimonials. But most importantly is the text of this ad. And this ad here at the bottom of the screen jumps out to me. Save money by repairing your broken glasses. It's a no obligation quote and fast turnaround time. This is drawing me in to click on this ad. And this advertiser has done a good job of creating this message. Perhaps they've tested variations of this ad copy and headlines to find the combination that works best. Now we're looking at Google Ads on the desktop. But one thing that I want to stress before we go any further is that consumers are increasingly picking up their smartphones for answers. Given the smaller real estate on mobile, your ads will jump out even more because they'll take up more space on the screen. And this presents a tremendous opportunity for you to reach people throughout all of the touch points of that consumer's path to purchase. Now, with that said, it'll be important to focus a lot of your attention on how to take advantage of that mobile market. As an AdWords advertiser, you probably want to know exactly where your advertisements are going to show up. To understand where your ads end up and how they get there, let's start at the top. When you use AdWords, you're gaining access to what is called the Google network. This network is comprised of literally thousands of search and display network websites, as well as the Google search engine itself. The Google network currently reaches more than 80% of all internet users worldwide in more than 30 languages and 100 countries. The Google network is divided into two big areas: the Google Search Network and the Google Display Network. The Search Network includes the familiar Fill your text ads in search results. We looked at that type of advertisement in the last movie, but these text ads can also display on Google Maps, Google Shopping, and websites that are search partners. And search partners include hundreds of non-Google websites, such as AOL. To expand further, advertisements that are part of the search network will link your keywords to words or phrases someone has used in their search. It's the easiest to set up, and you can be relatively assured that consumers who have searched are expressing interest and intent. Think back to my example on the eyeglasses. I had intent to get my frames repaired, so the search network was a very valuable place to advertise on. Now, the display network is typically used in conjunction with attention-grabbing visuals. Although you can still opt to run text-based advertisements, display ads are typically banner ads. You've likely encountered these all over the web. Display ads work differently. Instead of targeting based on a keyword a user supplies, Google instead matches your ads to websites with content related to your targeting. So if you were selling a new kitchen gadget, you might display your ads on a website that have kitchen product reviews or websites with recipes. A user hasn't signaled their express interest, but they might become interested and aware of your product based on your display ad. By default, new campaigns will target both networks to give your ads better visibility, but you can use one or the other, and I'll guide you through the decision process later in this course. Let's just quickly summarize the key reasons behind using search and/or display. Search uses text ads and helps in these two key areas, gaining an advantage over organic listings in search and reaching customers actively searching for your specific service or product. As for display, display uses rich media and/or text ads to help in four areas: reaching a wide range of customers with broad interests, building brand awareness and customer loyalty, increasing engagement with customers, and you have the opportunity to choose more specifically where your ads can appear and to what type of audience. We'll discuss more on how to maximize both of these networks once we start building your actual advertisements. Whenever Google serves an advertisement to a customer, it can appear in a variety of formats. We refer to these as ad types, and the most popular are text ads, ads with extensions, responsive ads, shopping ads, image ads, video ads, and call-only ads. Let's talk through these together. Text ads are the most common kind of search ad. We'll focus most of our attention on these ads throughout this course, and this is because they're the easiest to set up and incredibly popular. Text ads include a descriptive headline, website URL, and descriptive text like calls to action. These can show up on the search and display networks. Now, just because these are the easiest to set up doesn't mean they aren't effective. In fact, these are among the best performing pay-per-click ad units you can buy. Now, ad extensions are essentially text ads with a few add-ons. Extensions let you provide additional information to your text ad, such as your business's address, special offers, press quotes, or even a phone number. These can show up on the search network, and depending on what extensions you have activated, on the display network too. Responsive ads are used only on the display network, and they adjust to match the pages they're on. These ads blend in with the content, so they're incredibly visible. However, as with most display ads, they're used primarily for building awareness or for remarketing. Shopping ads contain product and pricing information. You see these whenever you're searching for a product, such as running shoes. These require a lot of effort to set up. You need to use Google Merchant Center, create a product feed, and sync your data with Google AdWords. If you're running an e-commerce store, you'll want to research these further. Image ads appear in the Google Display Network. Most often, when you see a visual advertisement on another website, it's an image ad. Video ads are just what they sound like. A standalone video ad or a video ad that runs inside another video. And finally, we have call-only ads. Call-only ads allow your customers to call your business directly when they click on your ad. They're useful for driving phone calls to your business from devices that, well, can make calls. Now, for this course, we're only going to focus on text ads and text ads with ad extensions. But the information you learn throughout this course will be applicable to the rest of these ad formats. I recommend that you start out with text ads and then expand from there. There are other search advertising solutions on the web today, but the benefits to using Google AdWords to manage your advertising are immense. AdWords offers tremendous reach, precise targeting, and almost limitless measurability. Google also has tools to help you improve, and let's face it, it's just where most people go to find what they're looking for online. Now, AdWords has many benefits, but I want to focus on the key ones. First is the ability to target your ads. Targeting lets you show your ads to people with specific interests. AdWords offers different ways of targeting, which we'll go over in more detail later. For now, here's a look at the choices that you have with online ads that can make your marketing campaigns even more targeted. First is keywords, and these are words or phrases relevant to your product and service, and they're used to show your ads when customers search for those terms or visit relevant websites. Next, you have your ad location, which allows you to show your ads on search engines, commercial sites, or even personal sites. From there, you have some demographic options: age, location, and language. You also can set the day, time, and frequency, meaning you could show ads during certain hours of the day or certain days of the week. You also have a great opportunity to target devices. This means that you can decide if you want your ads to show on mobile, desktop, or both. Next is the ability to control your budget. There's no minimum to get started with AdWords. You can choose how much you spend per month, per day, and even per ad. And the great thing is, for the most part, you're only going to pay when someone clicks your ad. AdWords is a pay-per-click model, and that has tremendous advantages. You can weed out bad advertisements based on the fact they're simply not getting clicked. You're not paying to discover or find out that your ads are uninteresting. Now, if your landing destination is terrible, but you have a great ad, well, then you have a different problem. Which we'll discuss in a future movie. If you've dabbled in SEO, you're aware it takes lots of resources to start ranking for your keywords. And there are literally thousands of keywords that you might want to show up for. Well, that could take years of work and lots of money to accomplish organically. With AdWords, you can jump to the top on the cheap and at a budget that makes sense for your goals. The third key feature is the ability to measure your success. With AdWords, if someone clicks your ad, you'll know. If they clicked your ad and then did something valuable to your business, say purchased your product, downloaded your app, or phoned in an order, you can track that too. By seeing which ads get clicks and which don't, you'll also quickly see where to invest in your campaign. That in turn can boost the return on your investment. You can get other valuable data, including how much it costs you on average for advertising that leads to your customers' online purchases. You can also use analytical tools to learn about your customers' shopping habits. How long, for instance, they tend to research your product before they buy. And finally, it's easy to manage your campaigns. AdWords also offers lots of tools and resources to easily manage and monitor accounts. You can even manage your AdWords account offline with the AdWords Editor, a free, downloadable desktop application that allows you to quickly and conveniently make changes to your account. AdWords also allows you to run keyword research, cost per acquisition analysis, and you can even compare attribution models to understand the value of the customer's path. All in all, AdWords is a great platform, and it's definitely the go-to choice for beginners and professionals alike. If you're weighing your options, I'd recommend you pursue AdWords, especially if this is your first entry into pay-per-click advertising. Before you begin creating your campaign, it's important to learn how AdWords is structured. A organized account will be essential in creating effective campaigns that target the right audience and ultimately help you reach more of your advertising goals. AdWords is organized into 5 tiers: account, campaigns, ad groups, keywords, and your ads. At the very top, you have your account. And this is the information you'll establish when you sign up: your email address, password, and billing information. Now, there's not much you'll do at the account level unless you move into managing AdWords for other clients, and we won't be covering that. Now, an account has to have one campaign and one ad group, but a well-structured account will have multiple campaigns and multiple ad groups. So let's talk about those. Your campaign is configured with a budget and settings that will determine when your ad appears. And campaigns help you stay organized. There's many different philosophies, however, on how you use your campaigns. So an online retailer might organize campaigns in the same manner that their website is organized. Let's say you're a clothing store that has many different products. You might have a campaign for each product category, such as one for jackets and one for shoes. And beneath those campaigns, you'll have ad groups that add more granularity. Under jackets, you might have rain, winter, and snow. And under shoes, you might have men's, women's, and children. This is organizing campaigns by category. However, I prefer to organize campaigns by objective and match type. Now, we're going to talk about match type later, but this is essentially how strict Google is with the keywords that you've selected. So you can have an exact match type, meaning Google only serves ads for the exact keywords that you provide. Or you might have a broad match, which gives Google the option to show your ads for related searches. So let's say that we're advertising a software company that provides online time tracking. You might have two objectives. One is to show up alongside competitors, and the other is to show up for people searching for time tracking software. I would then create 4 campaigns to start with. One for competitors, exact match. One for competitors, broad match. One for time tracking keywords, exact match. And one for time tracking keywords, broad match. Beneath that, we'd set up several ad groups. One ad group for each competitor in the exact match campaign. And then we duplicate that same set of ad groups underneath the broad match campaign. Next, I'd set up ad groups for the different industries people might be searching for the software in. And I'm going to put those under the time tracking campaigns. This could be freelancers, contractors, customer service, and so on. I'd imagine that freelancers might type something like time tracking software for freelancers. And one for customer service might be time tracking software for customer service agents. I think you get the idea. You might also have ad groups for the way people search. For example, you could have an ad group for reviews, and this would be people typing in timesheet company reviews, best timesheet software ranking, and so on. You may also have an ad group for comparison. This could be someone typing in timesheet company A versus timesheet company B. And again, you would replicate all the ad groups from within the exact match campaign into the broad match campaign. Now, within each ad group, you'll have your keywords and about 2 to 3 advertisements. You really only want 10 to 15 keywords in an ad group, and those keywords need to be on the same theme. So when in doubt, create a new ad group and keep your keywords limited. As for ad groups, if you have more than 10 ad groups in a campaign, it's time to break things into more campaigns. By keeping your account organized and keeping everything thematically grouped and as narrow as possible, you can identify which approaches yield the best results. Start organizing your campaigns and ad groups before you create them. I recommend drawing out your structure in a spreadsheet. Reorganizing your account will delete any data that you've accumulated, which can make it hard to understand what was performing well. It's better to start by being too specific than too broad. So consider creating several ad groups that are very targeted. If you aren't getting enough traffic, you can always loosen up the targeting. If you're still scratching your head, just familiarize yourself with the hierarchy of the AdWords structure. I'll show you a real-world example later, and we'll be going through each of these elements together in later movies. So don't worry too much if it hasn't clicked. It'll all come together once we start building out our advertisements. Google is popular because they're good at getting it right. When you go to search for something on Google, you typically find what you're looking for right away. And Google is obsessed with making sure everything they display is relevant, and that extends beyond organic results to paid listings as well. Fortunately, this makes for a great opportunity. Users want relevant information, and advertisers want to show relevant answers, so that those listings get clicked on. If Google shows the best ads, users come back to Google, and Google profits. For Google, the better the ads they show, the more money they make. Now, before we get too much further, let me back up and share with you the context of what we're going to be talking about. I'm here on the Google search page, and I'm going to run a query for coffee subscription. So we can see that there are 4 ads here at the top. And if I scroll to the bottom of the page, there's 2 ads here at the bottom. But how does Google decide the order that these ads appear in? Fundamentally, Google AdWords is an auction-based platform. And by that logic, the person with the highest bid should appear at the top of the page, or in what we call position number 1. So this ad here that says coffee subscription, a world tour of amazing coffee, is in position number 1, followed by 2, 3, and 4. So let's talk this through. If we had 4 people bidding, and the max bids per click were $5, $4, $3, and $2, you would expect bidder number 1 at $5 to get the best position. But that's not the case. The winner is actually determined by what we call ad rank. Now, I'm going to simplify quite a bit, but this score is essentially calculated by looking at the maximum bid and multiplying it against your ad quality score. And the ad quality score is based on a variety of factors. The first is your expected click-through rate. Google is going to make an educated guess on how often people are going to click your advertisement. From there is your landing page experience. Your advertisement is only useful if your visitors can find what they expect once they click over to your site. Your landing page must be incredibly relevant to the ad, easy to navigate, and transparent on how you collect and use your customer data. And that's really just your privacy policy and terms and conditions. Next, they look at your ad relevance by analyzing the language in your ad as it relates to what a user typed into Google. And this prevents people from simply buying their way into unrelated keywords. Google also has extensions that you can add onto your ad units. For example, you might add a phone number or include recent reviews from customers. Leveraging these extensions can increase your quality. So Google takes all of these factors and calculates a quality score. And your quality score is on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, we don't know for certain how Google calculates your final ad rank, but for the sake of this example, let's assume that they take your maximum cost per click bid and multiply it by your quality score. So let's say we have 4 advertisers bidding: brand A, brand B, brand C, and brand D. We'll assign maximum CPC bids of $5, $4, $3, and $2 respectively. And then let's assign some quality scores: 2, 6, 9, and 7. So if we run our simple formula, we'll have ad ranks of 10, 24, 27, and 14. So ad position number 1 will go to brand C, even though they had a lower bid. And ad position number 2 will go to brand B, even though they had a higher maximum bid. And if your rank is just too low, you cannot appear at all. So in our example, even the highest bidder likely won't be displaying their advertisement. Now, it gets a little more complicated. Google uses a variation of what's called a second price auction. So you'll pay just 1 penny more to beat the advertiser with the next highest ad rank. This means the advertising bids will automatically be adjusted for you. Google does this to encourage you to bid your true highest amount, knowing they'll always correct the bids to be in your favor. And that's how Google manages its auctions. Now, as we go through this course, I'll be discussing how to achieve high quality scores. Essentially, it's going to boil down to improving your ad quality through the right keywords and ad copy, refining your landing page experience, and leveraging all of the available ad formats. Before starting any online advertising, whether paid or organic, it's important to identify what you hope to gain from your efforts. Do you want to increase traffic to your website, drive more phone calls through your sales team? Would you like more customers to come through your doors? Or are you trying to educate your consumers about a very specific product? These are just a few examples of what I'll refer to as your paid advertising business goals. With a clear goal, you'll be able to identify a strategy and evaluate the proper way to measure results. If you want brand awareness, you might track impressions instead of tracking clicks, whereas a traffic campaign is going to be focused on the quantity of visitors, and therefore clicks would become important. Your goal will be composed of 4 elements: the objective, the motivation, the effort, and the KPI, or key performance indicator. Your KPI is not just what you're measuring, but the actual quantity of that measurement you hope to achieve. Let's walk through some examples to show you how I would set up an advertising business goal. Let's say you sell coffee products online and want more orders on coffee filters and coffee mugs. My first objective is online sales. Then we have the motivation, and the motivation is going to be what your customer wants. Remember that list from earlier? So in this case, the motivation is I want to buy. Our effort is to sell filters. That's what we need to do. So we need to sell filters, and the KPI is going to be 100 filters sold by October. So it's not just the measurement of 100 sales. It's actually 100 filters, and it's going to be sold by whatever date we've decided. You want your KPI to be very specific because you're going to use it to determine if you reach those goals. So with this KPI, if we sold 100 filters, but we didn't do it until November, well, we got the quantity, but we didn't do it in the right time frame, and we're going to go back and look at our ads and figure out how we can do it at an accelerated rate. Now, in this case, we had 2 goals, so I would do this again. The objective, online sales; the motivation, I want to buy. In this case, the effort is sell mugs, and the KPI will be 200 mugs sold by December. What's great about this is that we know that we need to use an ad type that will drive traffic to an online store because our objective is online sales. And we know that we need to have a method for tracking our effort. So we need to set up a method to track the filters and the mug sales prior to launching this campaign. Now, this methodology will help you not only organize your campaigns, but it provides you with a tangible goal. You'll have to work to modify budgets, tweak campaigns, and refine your performance so that you can meet your KPI. If you fail, that's okay. Failure is how you learn. Failure is money spent on education, and you'll use the data you gather to describe why you missed your goal. Let's look at another example. Let's say you're a pet groomer and you want to generate more phone calls to your business. So we'll write our objective as phone calls. The motivation is I want to know and I want to go. The consumer needs to come to you. So your ad type will be focused on either getting them the information they need over the phone or getting them to come to your local place of business. The effort will be to book haircuts for dogs, and the KPI is 10 new clients in April. Now, you might be asking, wait, why is my goal book haircuts for dogs instead of, say, pet grooming for dogs and cats? Well, the most successful campaigns are going to be very specific. As we uncover keyword popularity in a future movie, you'll see why. But to put it broadly, people aren't likely searching for both cat and dog haircuts simultaneously. They're going to look for something specific to their needs. Their motive is, I want a haircut for my dog. So when they go to Google, the search will be dog groomer or dog haircut, likely followed by a modifier that could include their current location. You don't want to serve this person a generic ad about all of your services. You want to serve them an ad very specific to their motivation. And this is why goals are very important. So take a minute to establish what your initial goals are and what sounds like a very reasonable and achievable goal that you can use to kick off your first AdWords campaign. We're going to use our goals throughout this course, and we'll also use them to help identify how much to spend. If you have multiple advertising goals, that's great too. Keep in mind that it's best to set up one campaign for each goal. This keeps you organized and focused. The advertisements that you create will, more often than not, focus on a specific product. That product might be a physical piece of merchandise, the entirety of your brand image, a specific service, or, say, an electronic download. The best advertisements are focused, and that focus requires you to really define what your product is at a much more granular level than you might be used to. In the last movie, we briefly looked at a scenario covering a pet groomer. For this business, we would want to make a list of all the marketable products and their definitions. What is everything you can offer your customer? It's either items or information that is currently on your website, will be added to your website, or what you have in your store. Now, you don't need to create a list of things that you don't want to advertise for. So in this case, we only need to come up with a list of marketable products that we're going to be buying ads for. So for this business, off the top of my head, I could think of cat grooming, dog grooming, dog shampoo, dog grooming tips, cat grooming tips, dog nail trim, and so on. This list can continue to go on to focus on specific products or even more specialized items. It's not good enough to focus on your business broadly. You want to target your specific products. This lets you tailor your advertising copy and your keyword strategy to meet your customer when they're in the right mindset. Each product will need its own campaign, its own goals, and likely a unique landing page for when the advertisement is clicked. Take some time to think through all the products and services you offer. You can even group your products into multiple categories, so you might list out your products by type first, and then again by brand. Before we continue, make a list of everything you sell or offer. This will help you as you prepare to build your first campaign. At this stage, we understand our goals and our product, but it'll be a waste of time to pursue the wrong audience. The best audience is one that needs your category of product, and the audience that is looking for dog grooming, for example, might not be the same audience that's looking for cat grooming. When I start any advertising endeavor, I like to outline the type of customer I'm targeting specific to the product I want them to buy. And you can do this by creating descriptive personas. There's a lot of ways that you can go about deciphering the personas of your users. If you've got an existing customer base, you can conduct surveys and mine your data for patterns. But if you're just starting out, you'll have to make some educated assumptions. To do that, let's start with a simple exercise. We're going to outline 3 desired or typical customers of yours. So pull out a piece of paper and then close your eyes and picture 3 different customers interacting with your product. Now, write down the 3 names that come to your mind when you see their faces. Next, describe each person at a broad level. How old are they? What is their gender? And what type of education do they have? Next, write down some career facts about these people. What is their profession? How long have they been working there? And is their career motivating them to use or need your product? From here, let's talk about the technological traits of this customer. What technology do they use daily? How do they access the web? How much time are they dedicating to the internet? Next, you'll write a short biography for each of these people. You could also pretend that you're introducing them to a friend. What would you say? What things will you highlight? So at this point, you've got a rough sketch of these people, but you'll want to take it even further and put yourself in their shoes. Assume their identity, imagine their day-to-day, and then answer these 4 questions. What are they motivated by? Where do they spend most of their time? Why are they interested in your product? And what will convince them to buy? Here's an example of a persona I've created so you can get a sense of what you're trying to do. Here I've given my persona a name, Mark. He's a male, 42 years old with a graduate degree. For career facts, I've identified that he's an orthodontist. He's been doing this for 10 years, and he needs this product for the work that he does. As far as technology is concerned, he's on an iPhone as well as a desktop. He's predominantly a mobile user, and he's online roughly 4 hours per day, but in the evenings. For a biography, I wrote Mark is a young professional who really enjoys technology. He's an entrepreneur as he runs his own business. He is skeptical about most things and is motivated by recommendations from other colleagues or professional sources. The bio really helps me begin to shape how I'm going to target to this persona. Now, Mark would be associated to a particular product, so as we go through our advertising, I'll have my product set up, and then when I go about targeting, I'll look at these personas and make sure that my targeting makes sense for this person, as well as the ad text as the copy helps solve their problems. In this case, I've identified that this persona is skeptical, so I might include reviews from other colleagues or links that show professional resources on my landing page. At the end of this exercise, you should have some very clear personas. Create a persona for each product, as this will help you begin to create refined targeting for your advertising campaigns. AdWords is exciting. It's an accessible platform, it works in near real time, and it's an opportunity to generate immediate exposure for your company. But it's very likely you're not going to get an amazing result with your first step up to the plate. Every business is unique, so there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Successful AdWords campaigns require persistence. You have to spend money, look at the data, refine your campaign, spend more money, look at the data, and repeat. In fact, your first month might be terribly frustrating. Lackluster clicks, no phone calls, meager sales. You're going to be looking at your AdWords dashboard, questioning everything. The good news is, you're not alone. As a professional marketer, I too encounter this same struggle with almost any new campaign I launch. My goal is to help you set up some realistic expectations so you're on the path to success, and so you know when to keep on pushing forward despite the nagging feeling that you need to throw the towel in. A typical AdWords campaign will hit its stride in about 3 months, and here's why. In month 1, we're making educated guesses and collecting data. You'll launch your campaigns, and then you'll need to start asking questions. How's my click-through rate? What about the bid price? Are we running out of money? Are we not spending all of our budget? You'll be making changes and reviewing the performance to better understand your specific market. It's very common to lose money in the first month of advertising. There isn't a special software program, a secret book, or a crystal ball that can tell you what's going to work for you. It's all about making educated guesses and being savvy with how you interpret the data. In month 2, you should be seeing improvements. By now, you have several weeks of data and a handful of tests under your sleeve. By being active in your dashboard, milling over your data, and being sensitive to what changes you've made, it's very likely you'll feel a lot more aware of your market and what's working. This is why you need to be patient with AdWords. If you spend money and don't wait long enough, you might pull the plug just before things start to transition. Let the data sink in, and in month 2, you can start closing the gap. Perhaps your goal was to drive traffic, and by month 2, you've dialed that in, but the traffic is too expensive. Now you're at least aware you can get the traffic, so this month will be about making changes to slowly dial in that perfect price. You might be pausing keywords, lowering bids, changing the ad copy, testing different landing pages, and so on. You'll review data in Google Analytics and be persistent in recognizing your target audience's trends and behaviors. It's usually around the 3rd month you'll really see a return on investment. With the data, the tweaks, and the attention you've been giving your audience, things typically fall into place. From here, it's all about scaling and creating larger KPIs. Whether you're going to spend $100 or $10,000, the process is very much the same. Decide what you're willing to spend to get the knowledge you need. What can you lose in the first month and still be satisfied with the outcome? To start advertising with Google Ads, you'll need to create an account. So the first step is to head over to ads.google.com. And you can simply select the Start Now button here in the upper right-hand corner. Or Google does provide the option to call to set up your account. And if you're interested in that, you can follow the information in the bottom right-hand corner. I'll start by choosing Start Now. So first things first, we need to either enter in our existing Google account information, or in the bottom left, we can create a new account. If you use Gmail, Google Analytics, or AdSense, then you already have an account established with Google, and you can use that same email address to log in and sign up with Google Ads. Now, if you're creating a Google Ads account for business purposes, then it's a good idea to create an account specific to that business domain. You'd simply select Create Account in the bottom left-hand corner, choose to manage my business from the dropdown, and follow the prompts to create that account. I'm going to go ahead and choose Sign In instead. Now, right away, Google is going to walk us through the steps to begin building our first campaign. And it does this by asking us what's our main advertising goal. Now, I'm going to skip over this and simply choose Switch to Expert Mode towards the bottom of the screen. I simply want to get through setting up our account before we get into the specifics of creating a campaign. Now, here on this page, we're asking to select a goal to create our first campaign, but I'll select Create an Account without a campaign in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, it's here that you select the billing country, your time zone, and your currency. And this is important. The selections that you make here can't be changed. So the way that data is collected, how it appears in your reports, and how everything is tracked is dependent on what you choose here. So be sure to pick what makes the most sense for your business. In this case, I'm going to leave it as is and choose Submit. And from here, our account is set up, and we'll simply choose Explore Your Account to to be taken to the main dashboard. And there you go. Now you've got yourself a brand new Google Ads account. Let's get familiar with the overall structure of the Google Ads interface. Understanding the basic layout of what you see when you log in will help you to manage and optimize your account much more efficiently and set you on the road to pay-per-click success. Now, when you first log in, you'll arrive here, and this is your overview page. Now, when you first start out, this section will be blank, but I went ahead and set up a sample campaign just so you can see how this might appear once you've begun developing your own campaigns. Now, it's here on the overview page that you'll see at-a-glance information that allows you to gain insights on each area of your account. There are cards that include your basic reporting, such as clicks, impressions, the average cost per click and cost. You'll also see cards for your ad groups, keywords, and even your ads. Now, each of these sections is interactive. You can click on various elements and adjust them to fit whatever it is you're looking for. Now, all of this data is shown based on a date range that you've selected, and you'll adjust that in the upper right-hand corner. Here you can see I've set this to all time, but you can come in here and edit which dates you'd like to look at. You have some pre-configured options such as this month, this week, today, or you can add a custom date range. Now, as you navigate around Google Ads, you'll always know where you are by looking at the top of the screen. Here, we can see that we're in all campaigns. If I select, for example, keywords on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll now notice that it doesn't change to say keywords, but instead still says all campaigns. And what this is telling me is that I'm looking at keywords here on the left-hand side for all of my campaigns. If I instead went to campaigns here on the left-hand side, selected a specific campaign, in this case, one titled 4th of July sale, you'll notice at the top of the screen, I'm now in the US 4th of July sale campaign, which means if I select keywords here on the left-hand side, I'm now looking at keywords not for all of my campaigns, but just for keywords associated with this very specific campaign. And this is an important distinction because as you move around, it's very important that you remember where you are. So as you're making changes to, say, settings, locations, your demographics, and so on, you're doing it for the campaign that's selected. Or if you're making a global change, you're doing that at the all campaigns level. Now, there is a flyout menu here on the left indicated by this arrow. And when you select that, you have the option to navigate into specific campaigns and their respective ad groups. Here I can see the campaign 4th of July sale, followed by each ad group I've created, which is yet another level that you'll be able to drill into. Now, moving to the top right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see some very important options. First is search. When you select this, and you can also get there by pressing G and T on your keyboard, it brings up a prompt which allows us to search for anything that we're looking for. In this case, let's say I needed to find the billing page. I simply type billing, and I'm going to see all of the options that are available to me that match my search query. So here I could easily jump into billing settings or billing transfers, and I'll get right on my way. Next to this, we have our reporting icon, and this makes it easy to identify either any predefined reports or any reports that we've already built and saved, or simply the reporting dashboard. And then to the right of this, we have our tools and settings menu. And this is where you'll access essential optimization, planning tools, library, and even your billing insights. It's here that you'll be able to navigate to each of these items respectively. Next to this, we have the help icon, and this allows us to easily find a quick reference map, identify those new features and announcements, or get help. And there's even a phone number if we get stuck and need to talk to someone on the phone. To the right of that is the bell icon. And this is where you'll see any notifications or alerts related to your account. If there's an exclamation point, it means you have a new notification. And you can click on that to see exactly what it is. And then here in the top right corner is your account. And you can select that in order to log out, view your Google account settings, or if you need to add additional Google Ads accounts, you'll do that here, which allows you to create more accounts if you're managing things for, say, multiple clients. Take the time to explore the interface, as understanding where to find what you need will help you be more efficient when you're creating, maintaining, and optimizing your campaigns. Let's take a look at how we navigate the campaign section within Google Ads. Now I'm here on our overview page, and to view the campaigns specific to this account, I'll click Campaigns on the left-hand side. Here we have all of the campaigns and some at-a-glance information within this table. We can see our budget, the campaign type, clicks, and so on. Now, since these campaigns haven't been running, there's no data here, but you would expect to see information populate depending on how you're running your campaigns. Now, starting in the upper left-hand corner, you can add filters if you have a lot of campaigns. You can filter based on performance, conversions, and all sorts of other aspects. Additionally, you can use the options in the upper right-hand corner of this table. For example, we can select Segment and segment these campaigns by a variety of attributes. Additionally, we can adjust the columns that we see by selecting Columns and choose Modify Columns. Here you can select the category, say Conversions, and select the column that you'd like to see. I'll choose Conversions and hit Apply. Now we'll see that Conversions is over here on the right-hand side. Now, as you get more columns, you'll navigate this table by the scroll bar at the bottom or choose Expand to get a little bit more screen real estate. Additionally, if you'd like to view a chart, select the down arrow, and now you'll have the option to see some charts and adjust which attributes you'd like to compare. When you click into a specific campaign, you'll land on the Ad Group section. And to figure out where you are, you'll notice that Google highlights the page you're on here on the left-hand side, and it confirms where you are here at the top of the screen. So we can see I'm within all campaigns and then the US free parking campaign. Now, all of the options along the left-hand side are now specific to this campaign. So as I navigate to, say, landing pages, these will be the landing pages specific to the US free parking campaign. The same goes with keywords, audiences, settings, and so on. At any time, I can select at the top of the screen the breadcrumb for all campaigns to return to the All Campaigns overview, or you can select the flyout menu on the left-hand side and pick the specific campaign that you'd like to navigate to. Within this flyout menu, you also have the option to select these three dots to filter by campaign status. For example, I could look for all of my campaigns, all enabled campaigns, or even all campaigns without the ones that have been removed. When you adjust this filter, it's going to maintain that filtering across every page that you interact with inside of Google Ads. I'm going to go back to all campaigns, and if we'd like to add a new campaign, you'll start by selecting the plus icon. Anytime you see that plus icon, it indicates that you can add something. You'll notice it on campaigns as well as ad groups and keywords. I'll select plus, choose new campaign, and that brings us to the campaign creation wizard. It's here that you'll be able to develop that new campaign. Cancel brings us back to the page we were on before. It's really that straightforward to navigate all of your campaigns, but it is important that you reference the top of the page to make sure that when you're editing, you're within the campaign that you intended to adjust. Within campaigns, we have ad groups. And to see all the ad groups associated with our account, I'll select ad groups from the left-hand navigation. Here in the first column, we see the ad group name, followed by the campaign it's associated with. So here we can see I have one ad group associated to the free parking campaign, and I have 4 ad groups associated with the 4th of July sale campaign. Now, we can interact with these ad groups in many ways. The first is you can select the dropdown next to the green icon if you'd like to pause the ad group. And this works across many areas of Google Ads, including campaigns and keywords. You'll interact by finding that drop-down arrow. We can also select multiple ad groups and choose Edit from the menu that appears, which allows us to copy and paste, remove them, or make changes specific to our selection. We also have the ability to edit the title of the ad group, or the name, simply by choosing the pencil icon that appears. Just as you can with campaigns, all of the sections are interactive by selecting the options at the top right corner of the table. You'll also add new ad groups by choosing the plus icon. Now, if I am in the All Campaigns view, meaning I'm not within a specific campaign, when I choose to add my ad group, I first have to select the campaign, and then I can create that ad group. If instead I navigate to a specific campaign, it looks a little different. I'll choose X in the upper left-hand corner. We'll go to Campaigns, choose Free Parking. Here I am at Ad Groups, and now when I choose the plus icon, I'm creating an ad group specifically in that free parking campaign, and we can confirm that by seeing here in the breadcrumbs that we're within the free parking campaign. As you can see, it's fairly straightforward to manage your ad groups in Google Ads. One of the most important aspects of Google Ads is, well, the ads that you're running. And you'll manage those ads in the Ads and Extension area, which you can navigate to by selecting Ads and Extensions from the left-hand menu. It's here, when I'm within All Campaigns, that I can see every ad that I'm running on the platform, along with the campaign it's associated with and its ad group. You'll find a lot of helpful insights when you view this ads page. For example, I can see that the status of my ad is approved, but when you hover over any text that has an underline, you'll notice that Google is going to provide additional context. Here, I can see that there's actually a problem. This ad isn't showing because it has a low ad rank. And this information allows me to diagnose what the problem might be. So if I saw, for example, that this ad was not getting any clicks or impressions, then I could hover over this to see, well, there's actually a problem. Now, when you want to modify an ad, clicking on the ad actually opens up the landing page that's associated with that ad. In this case, the homepage for the Landon Hotel. Instead, you'll select the pencil icon that appears when you hover over that section. Then I can choose Edit, and it'll take me to the Ad Creation Wizard where I can edit that ad. Now, just like all the other sections, when you drill into a specific campaign or ad group, you'll have additional context when viewing ads and extensions. In this case, I'm in the San Francisco Hotel ad group of the 4th of July sale campaign, and this is the only ad associated with that ad group. I can click on the 4th of July sale campaign at the top of the screen and see all of the ads associated with this campaign. In this case, I have one ad in each ad group. However, you may have multiple ads, and you likely will because that's a good best practice within each ad group. Now, just as you can with your ad groups, keywords, and campaigns, you can pause these by selecting the option on the left, interact with multiples by clicking the checkboxes, and modify those columns and segments simply by interacting with that table navigation. To create a new ad, you'll simply select the plus icon and choose the ad that you're creating and follow the prompts. Now, you'll also notice that this is where extensions live, and you'll get to extensions by selecting the sub-navigation at the top labeled Extensions. Here, you'll see all of the extensions that are created, and you'll have the opportunity to create new ones. I can select Create Call It Extension, for example. And all extensions can be added to an account, campaign, or an ad group, regardless of where you are when you go to create them. Take a minute to explore the ads and extensions of Google Ads, as it is an area of the site you'll be spending quite a bit of time with. The majority of your advertising will use keywords as the primary method for attracting customers. So before we start talking about building our first campaign, we need to talk about keywords. Keywords are words or phrases that are used to match your ads with the terms people are searching for. These will be the true foundation of your campaigns. So selecting high-quality, relevant keywords for your advertising campaigns can help you reach the customers you want when you want to reach them. Having the right keywords in your campaigns can be the difference between a profitable campaign and one that just wastes your money. Earlier, we ran some searches on Google using the keywords eyeglass repair and iPhone repair. These delivered advertisements that were related to those terms. But as simple as that sounds, it's important that we dig deeper to really understand the nuances in selecting keywords. One of the biggest mistakes is assuming that keywords that mean roughly the same thing will perform the same. Let's say you're in the pre-owned vehicles business. That's the term you use when presenting yourself to customers and in your advertising. But let's be real. The general public doesn't talk about buying a pre-owned vehicle. We don't go to Google looking for a pre-owned vehicle. No, what do we call it? Used cars. We instead search for used cars for sale or used car dealerships. On paper, these keywords seem synonymous, but they're not. The keyword pre-owned vehicles is not the same keyword as used cars. There are about 600,000 searches on the term used cars every month, and only 1,000 searches on the term pre-owned vehicles. As you can see, there's a huge advantage to using the language that your customers are already using. The airline industry is another great example. They might discuss low fares, but in reality, customers are talking about cheap flights. Here we can see that cheap flights brings in 4 million searches a month. Low fares, a measly 2,000. And this brings me to an important point. As you go about researching keywords, it's essential that you speak the language of your customer. Remember the persona exercise we did? The purpose of that is to help you understand how these people search. The best advertising is specific. Instead of pushing our message to the masses, we want to push our ads out to those very specific people that we know who are interested in what we have to offer. If we know that our personas are teenagers using slang, then we need to focus on slang in our keywords. If our personas are executives, then we're going to use industry standard terms. You'll take the product research we did and mix that with your personas. We need to know what our customers are actually calling our products and services. This is going to tell us what terms are being entered into the Google search engine. If we don't do this, no matter how brilliant our ads are, they'll never get displayed and will never reach our audience. For each ad group, you're going to be identifying a list of keywords. Remember, ad groups are theme-based, so your keywords will be very specific to that theme. In the next movie, I'm going to show you an exercise to help identify your keywords and conduct research to determine if they're worth targeting. But first, I want to leave you with 4 tips that you can reference as you begin your keyword planning. The first is to think like a customer. Imagine what your customers are going to search for. These are the terms that you're going to use. Think of specific search words for each category of product that you have available, and use your persona exercises to get in your customer's head. Remember, you want to know how they're thinking about your product. It's not pre-owned vehicles, it's used cars. The second tip is to organize by theme. Group all of your keywords into themes, and as you look at that list of themes, see if you can break them into sub-themes. Again, the more thematic, the more grouped things are, the better your results are going to be. So if your ad group was, say, for men's boots, you would have themed keywords. Could be men's rain boots, men's work boots, men's motorcycle boots, men's fashion boots, and so on. In fact, you might even find yourself grouping those into their own themes. Work boots might have its own subcategories, and in that case, you could continue developing ad groups that have even more specific keyword themes. The third tip, as I continue to say, be specific. A generalized keyword is going to get you irrelevant matches. Boots would be sort of a bad keyword in general because it has no context. People that are typing in boots might be looking for boots for their car, boots for their dog, boots for themselves. There are many types of boots available. It's better to be specific and get about 5 to 20 keywords per ad group. And finally, the fourth tip, use the keyword planner. The keyword planner is a workshop for coming up with new ideas for effective keywords. We're going to review this together in the next movie, but I cannot stress the importance of this tool enough. Take the time to put all of your keywords through it before moving them into your campaigns. And most importantly, take your time. Keywords are one of the most important elements in your AdWords process. As you'll hear me say time and time again, choosing and organizing your keywords is one of the most important things that you do when setting up your paid search account. So what we need to do is brainstorm that seed list of keywords, and then we can evaluate their search volume, relevance, and competition. And we can also use that list to start filling out our ad groups, because we can always add and change those keywords as we scale and refine our campaigns. So to get that initial list of keywords, we start by visualizing our audience. Put yourself in their shoes and think about them sitting in front of the computer. What are they thinking? What might they be looking for? And how are they going to go about searching for it? One of the easiest ways to start brainstorming is to let Google do some of the work for you. Let me show you. Here on the Google homepage, we have the opportunity to start typing search queries into the box. Let's say we're making a keyword list for our fictional hotel, and this hotel happens to be in San Francisco. So I want to think about some keywords that might be associated with this hotel that someone might be searching for. Let's start typing hotels into Google. Here we can see that it begins to autocomplete my search. It's suggesting that I type hotels near me, or maybe hotels in Santa Barbara, or even hotels near Disneyland. But we know that we're interested in hotels in San Francisco. So I type hotels San Francisco. And all of a sudden, we start to get some really interesting ideas. Here I see downtown, airport, Union Square, Fisherman's Wharf, financial district. This indicates to me that people that are looking for hotels in San Francisco might be very particular about where they are. If my hotel is located in Union Square, then I might use that as a keyword and build from there. That way I can have an ad indicating that our hotel is located in Union Square, and I can match those keywords to the ad language. Now, if we keep typing, let's say I put a space, and let's just choose the letter D. Now we can see other popular terms are downtown, deals, and dog-friendly. So I might consider making an ad group around hotel deals and thinking about what deals I would want to generate for my hotel, or even whether or not my hotel is dog-friendly. I could begin to capture those folks who are searching for that specific term. Oftentimes, people that search start with one idea in their mind, but this autocomplete hijacks their intent. So they might be typing San Francisco hotel coupon codes, but they saw deals pop up before they finished their thought, so they're going to click on that. Now, you can also start with your goal in mind. You want your ad groups to be very focused. So let's say that we're running a deal for free parking. We could identify, if I simply type free, that people are interested in hotels with free parking. But that might not be the only term that someone might search for. If we put ourselves in their shoes, they might simply be looking for parking options in San Francisco. So they might type San Francisco parking. And now we can see there's parking garages, parking tickets, parking permits, parking costs. What we can do here is build an ad group that focuses on these other keywords around parking, but make sure that the location is set to only show ads to people outside of San Francisco. That way, we can be relatively certain that people who are searching from, say, Texas about parking in San Francisco are likely also going to be looking for a hotel. Use the autocomplete to start brainstorming, and then we can take these keyword lists into other tools to identify how valuable they are. As you continue to brainstorm keyword ideas, you'll likely want to turn to several additional tools to help you out. There are 3 that I use most often, so let's look at them together. The first is at answerthepublic.com. Here I've gone ahead and entered in my search term of San Francisco hotels, and it's going to give me a variety of ideas. As I scroll down, I can see questions related to San Francisco hotels, such as, why are San Francisco hotels so expensive in September? Perhaps that's something that I can write an article about and buy an ad against, because I imagine that that search term is very cost-effective to buy. As we scroll down, we can see a variety of other ideas, such as San Francisco hotels in the Bay Area, San Francisco hotels in Union Square, San Francisco hotels for families, right? A lot of great ideas. Scrolling down more, we can see comparisons, such as San Francisco hotels near AT&T Park, or San Francisco hotels by a particular brand, such as Marriott. And next, they have the alphabetical listings, which is essentially an automated way of doing a Google autocomplete search. So this is the keyword that you've entered, plus the letter A, the letter B, the letter C, and all of the most popular terms associated after you enter in that letter. And this is a great way to start brainstorming. You can scroll through this and gather a ton of great ideas for your ad groups or your campaigns. And finally, they break out the related topics, such as San Francisco hotels without resort fees or San Francisco hotels that are cheap. Again, lots of great ideas here. So I encourage you to check this tool out. Another great tool is from Google, and that's at trends.google.com. Here I entered in the term San Francisco hotels, and I can see the interest over time. I can look at the interest by particular regions, as well as the related queries and topics. So here in related queries, I can see topics that are rising, or I can select and see top related queries. If I select down below the arrow to the right, you can look at that list as it diminishes in popularity. Again, another great resource to look for ideas. And finally, SEMrush.com, which is a paid tool but has some limited functionality for free. And this is a very powerful resource. In this case, I've entered in the keyword San Francisco hotels, and I'm starting to get a lot of additional data. And here I can see how much people are paying per click on average, how competitive the terms are. I can see related keywords, phrase match keywords. In addition, I can see a lot of ads that are actually being run against these keywords, which helps you evaluate the competition and identify new ideas. Now, these are only a fraction of the tools that are available to you, but these are a great starting place as you begin to brainstorm those keyword lists. Google Ads offers their own tool to generate keyword ideas called the Keyword Planner. And you'll get to this tool by selecting Tools and Settings from any page within Google Ads, and then selecting Keyword Planner from the option on the far left side. Here we see that Google has two options. We have the ability to discover new keywords, and we have the ability to get the search volume and forecasts for keywords that we've already developed. Let's start by discovering new keywords. Here we can enter in the topic, such as San Francisco hotels, and select Get Started. So here on the left-hand side, we can see all of the related ideas. In this case, we see ideas such as San Francisco hotel deals, the best hotels in San Francisco, good hotels, boutique hotels, and so on. What's helpful about this is we also see additional insights that are very helpful as we begin to think about the campaigns that we're building. Here we can see the average monthly search volume, letting us know how popular this keyword likely is. The competition, letting us know how hard it's going to be to win bids against this keyword, as well as the low-end cost to bid for the top of the page, and the high range for bidding for that top of the page. This lets you understand if your budget allows you to even be within that keyword. What's great is that you can filter all of this data. I can select Add Filter and say, in this case, I can say the top of page bid on the high has to be less than $4 for it to pencil out. Now we can see the type of keywords that are available to us, and we can select these keywords and choose if we'd like to add them into an existing campaign, add them into an ad group, and how we'd like these keywords to be set up, whether they're broad match, phrase match, or exact match. You also have the opportunity to download keyword ideas and adjust the date range that you're looking for, because some of these keywords may be seasonal. So if you're looking for specific options, you may identify the seasonality. In other words, the bids might go up over, say, the 4th of July, which is a holiday here in the United States, versus, say, October, which might be a low travel season for and select Get Started. So here on the left-hand side, we can see all of the related ideas. In this case, we see ideas such as San Francisco hotel deals,